Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough!
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
All right, we're all scotched up, and we got some comics to talk about. Hey kids, this is episode 196 of the Mean Geek, Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility. I am your host, as always, the Tech Jedi, Hatter and Anarky. TJ, what? Booyah! And this, who shall remain nameless, is the Reverend Mad Duck, since he feels shame at being publicly known as someone who talks comic books.
That's not true. I feel shame at being publicly known at all.
Oh, well, I see. That's different.
I show no interest in being known by people.
Well, I do.
And quackity, bitches.
Yeah, well, that's my thing. Of course, it ain't working, but whatever the fuck.
What's that, being known?
Yes.
You do like people much more than I do. And yet, historically, I'm always in positions of having to be way more social than you.
Yes. That's your fault.
That so is.
You're not mean enough to people, dude.
I'm not good at it. You'd think I would be. I say, horrifyingly awful things in private, but public, I'm like, oh no, tell me again about that ankle situation of yours. Yes, no, I didn't want to leave on time. Please, elaborate with your giant fat ass.
Which is all now public.
Yeah, well. Dude, no one has ever talked about their own cankles. That's never happened.
Somebody has. Somebody,
Have you ever told anybody about yours?
No.
All right, what do you got for nerd news?
Well, we got some casting news for Deadpool. We got a bunch of people I don't know or care about, and Morena Baccarin. I almost had to go hide in the bathroom for a few minutes when I thought about that. That was good for me. Was it good for you?
You know what? No, it was not. Like literally, I read that and I'm like, fuck.
Why? It's not like she's gonna get down. You're not taking Colonel.
No, but I'm gonna have to hear about it from you.
Oh well,
dude, did you see her? She moved. Yes, she did. Good job.
She's breathing, dude. She's breathing. It's one of my things.
What was that chick from Shag, that horrible lawyer TV show?
Catherine Bell.
That you used to get excited.
Catherine Bell.
On the cover of something.
Catherine Bell. Her name was Catherine Bell. And I will remind you that you are the one that had the subscription to the magazine she was constantly in.
How did that make sense? But we never figured out how I ended up with that.
No, never did. No, they just started appearing one
Maxim
fucking
and
day.
stuff just came to my house. I'm like, fuck it, I'll run with this.
You did go out to buy the FHMs, though.
Yeah, once in a while, absolutely.
I'm so glad we're done with that, because that... I think about the kind of shit they talked about in those books, and I'm like, dude, bro, no. That's where fucking dude culture came from, man. Those fucking books.
Pretty much.
And I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes they were really fun.
Bro,
and eventually
dude.
They got kind of...
No homo. No, they were quite funny at times. And I certainly enjoyed Catherine Bell. And that other one. Didn't they have Kate Beckinsale in one of them?
Probably, I don't even recall. Dude, everyone was in the... Back then, for whatever reason, a lot of people were comfortable with it, and then that just suddenly stopped.
And there was that B-movie actress I used to like so much.
Curry Word?
Yeah.
Love that I can do that in one fucking... I can name someone you were attracted to in 3 notes. Because my life sucks.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Speaking of being in public, which we stopped doing 2 minutes ago.
True.
We got our table assignment for Emerald City, baby.
Woohoo!
Even though you're never going to be there again.
The whole taking vacation without my wife thing was not a.
There's no reason you can't bring her.
She doesn't want to go.
Andrew's girlfriend is there. It's a great city. You can see all kinds of stuff. You go up to Vancouver for the fucking day, see what's going on over there.
I will work on that. Maybe we can get up there and I can go in for a day or something. And there's no way that she's just going to spend the entire time doing touristy things where I'm sitting at a comic book table. Just not going to fly.
whatever. Other wives let their fucking husbands go places and
That
shit.
is true. But unfortunately,
Dude.
I got kind of a promotion.
Again?
So I'm going to be traveling for work now.
What?
Yeah. So it's going to be even harder for me to get time off. So, yeah.
You weren't going to tell me about this till we started recording?
You know, it's a work thing. Who cares?
Whatever.
It's not. I'm not making any more money. I just my workload increases.
Ugh.
You've had those kind of promotions.
Yes, I have.
You don't brag about them.
Irritating. At any rate, I don't have anything else I want to talk about. There's nothing on Twitter I want to deal with in particular.
Well, we do. Since the last time we tried to record went poorly, you did have your first experience with the DC video game Injustice.
Yes, Injustice, Gods Among Us. And it was enjoyable. Once I started learning the rhythms and special moves of each individual character they were making me play, I started enjoying it. You said I got about a third through the story?
Actually, it was probably closer to half. Like, you had a pretty decent run there for a bit. It is definitely not the most challenging game on the base level. Like, you die a few times, but the same guy doesn't kill you very often. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like learning how to do certain things, because then we played and you kicked my ass.
For once, for like the only time we've ever gone up on a console game.
Well, because I played that one day, and then you played the day that we played, and it's like, no, you're actually much more up on this than I am.
It was fun. I'll borrow it one day.
I was thinking we should try that again. Like, we tried a video game podcast once. It didn't go very well.
No, because we were trying to play it and speak at the same time.
But
then Joel was watching this, so that was like, performance, fuck.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a flawed podcast. But I was thinking that we should revisit that. If we were to go and do, there's so many like Captain America and Iron Man and other games. If we alternate and talk while we're playing about the character and whatnot, it might prove interesting. Or it could prove horrible, but
That's an idea.
I spend some time thinking about this sometimes. I was shocked too.
I would never expect it myself. Anyhow, you want to knock out these old DCs?
Yes, we were way behind. Well, you guys don't know. We don't fucking ever post this shit anyway. But yes, I got an insane amount of comics to get through, so let's fire off with It's DC Week! And we're not even trying to filler, which is always a good sign that perhaps we're doing two at once.
Which we didn't need to reveal, but we did anyway, because you do what
do.
you want to do and don't give a shit about me.
Well, I don't read your mind.
You don't care about it either.
That hurts.
Anyhow, so the new Finch-led Wonder Woman's number 37. Poor Diana gets called back to Themyscira to join a council to decide if she's going to rule at home or take off forever. And everybody's pretty pissy because things like Ares' mechanical war beast things
Yeah,
have
the
just
ones with
decided
arrows
that
for feathers.
they've got nothing to do, so they're just going to start attacking the island for no reason because they're Ares and she's got a war and she's around, and I guess they got to be there too. Although it wasn't clear, aside from being bloodthirsty, why they had to attack anything.
Well, since Diana has replaced Ares, the
Right.
birds are probably not being controlled. So that was my take on it.
All right, I can see that.
It is definitely like the writing aspect of it is moving along. There's a horrible fencing with Superman scene where Superman tries to be sensitive, which he should be good at because he's Superman, and somehow it's like,
She totally rebuffs him.
well, come on. He's like, you seem angry. You should stop being angry. Oh, the worst thing that you can do in life is to tell someone what not to do when they're starting to be like, oh, calm down, is the worst thing that you can say ever.
Well, all you can really do is like, I understand. I don't really understand. It's not my place to understand.
Yeah.
You can just sort of let them run and say, yes, dear.
Yeah, suck it up.
Because what else can you? And you can't exactly walk off, so what can you do? So Clark is kind of like,
the art is amazing, and there's an interesting backstory with a sacrifice and the building of, they're taking the clay that Wonder Woman's
Hippolyta had
mom-
been made of.
which is just so gross. Combining it with a baby and making,
Donna Troy.
which I'm sorry, is awesome. Like,
That's a pretty good origin. That's not bad.
I thought that was a genius way to bring Donna Troy into it.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get a teenager Amazon sidekick? Oh, out of there, like.
Because she has not had a clear backstory for a very long
Hey,
time.
well, because it's teenage sidekicks are bad, and like, Batman's the only one that still manages to survive that.
It's true. I mean, there's no Kid Flash. There's no Bullet Man and Bullet Boy anymore.
Where is Impulse now? Is he in? Some
I
Teen
I
Titan?
really don't know if he's even made a 52 appearance. But we got hope. He might be fun to have around again. We don't know. At any rate, I am having hope for this book. It's not knocking my socks off yet, but it's got a lot of good irons in the fire that I'm hopeful to see play out nicely.
Yep. No, it looks great, and the story is solid. Like, I'm intrigued by. Like, I was very happy overall with the DCs this week. Like, there's some positive turns.
A lot of people are hating on it on Twitter, though, so I'm like, whatever.
What's that?
On Wonder Woman.
Well, you know why? Because you can't replace Azarello.
Well, no. I mean, Azarello is a singular creator.
And
right
well, the
there.
whole Azarello and Chang.
Chang is good enough.
Okay. I always feel bad when I mispronounce by trying to be overly considerate. I did that once in college where I was just freaked out. Like, I was in a computer class and like I was overwhelmed, and this was my freshman year. It was just bad situation, and I totally overpronounced Ms. MS, and both the teacher and the tutor that was like the Ms. would look at me like I was the biggest asshole ever. I'm like, bye-bye.
That's fucking
Awful.
funny, man. That's a great story.
Awful.
All 4 sentences of it is
And you can
pretty
totally
good.
see me doing that,
I
too.
can absolutely
And
see
you
that.
know I don't care about that one iota, but I was trying to be overly solicitous and just turned it into being an asshat.
Oh, I am enjoying this story. So, the other story that I'm not doing too badly with this time, it had some snidey science.
Which other story?
Oh, we're moving on to Batman
You
37.
didn't say that.
I did not say that at all.
Nope. The other story.
The next story, which is Batman 37. The Pennyworths have been researching a antivirus to the Joker's virus because who knew that an English butler trained in battlefield fucking first aid and surgery would know anything about microbiology and fucking virology and advanced molecular chemistry.
Dude, come on. He works for Bruce Wayne. Like, I think they can afford to hook him up with some extra classes.
I never looked at it that way. He was gone a lot of years.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I'm going to need, by the way, armor building 101, cowl maintenance, the Pennyworth online class.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. But, while Bruce fights it off himself, and there's a bunch of Snyder science babble, and Bruce goes into town, right? While Gordon, wow, too much scotch already, dude. Seriously.
That's not a real thing.
Well, they could be. I mean,
There's enough scotch, and then there's more scotch. There's never too much scotch.
I've had enough scotch, man. Bruce goes into town while Gordon needlessly researches a hospital. I don't understand why he was researching a hospital. I don't remember anything about why he was there. But while he's there, Joker goes ahead and attacks Gordon, who shoots him, and of course, it does nothing.
Yeah,
Because it's the goddamn Joker.
I'm loving aspects of this, like Bruce being overwhelmed with emotions. There's a little too much Bruce and not enough Batman in this.
Yeah, I
but
can
that's
see
been
that.
true of a lot of the Snyder Batman stories so far.
Yep.
However, the virus is a classic Joker thing, and like that it's transmutated into this new, totally fucked up one. And there's some legitimately creepy moments which are hard to do in a Batman book. But like when the doctor is like, "You shouldn't be in here," and starts giggling with the patients breaking in. Like if that were a video game, that would be a jump moment right there. You're like, nope, no, turning the light on, getting a candy bar.
It's all true. But
let me.
he doesn't always do what I want to see Batman do, but I think that this one is a step forward from that.
And you have the awesome, like, Gordon, like, researching. Like, there's a mystery aspect, which is awesome. And then you have Gordon, like, looking into it and finding out if it wasn't the Joker,
Yeah.
that would be odd, like, because you've got classic Batman figuring shit out. The problem that I'm having with this is that I don't understand the Joker anymore. And I know that no one understands the Joker. There's all sorts of various Jokers. But now he's this force of comedy, nature, evil thing.
Yeah, I don't see how that's...
And, you know, I'm trying to bear in mind that it's the new 52 and everything's different. And I have to be like, okay, it's different. But
I don't see how that adds to that character.
I mean, it does explain how he's able to cut his face off, staple it on upside down, and now be fine. Like that.
Yeah, well, that does explain that. Yes, that works. That's fine.
But a mystical Joker uber being kind of loses the...
From all through time.
Like, that's not the Joker that should be fighting Batman. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Like, that's not okay. To me, like, you know, and obviously I don't care for the new 52 in every aspect, and DC Week is a very small week as a result of our disdain. But like, Batman fights criminals, and the Joker is insane, but he's primarily an insane criminal. He's not a galactic force for no goodness.
I think that's a title.
Ugh.
But you know, I've been trying very hard to work through my hatred of this book, and I'm not going to stop buying it. And people are looking at me like, "Oh, dude, you're just spending money on shit you hate." Yeah, I am, but I love Batman. So there have been bad periods of fucking Batman, i.e., fucking 90s.
I don't think this is a terrible period of Batman. It's just not my Batman. Like,
It certainly doesn't match the wretchedness of 90s Batman.
no, I miss other Batman. Yeah, but yes, like, there's definitely things that I'm not reading here that would drive me insane from the past. So, you know, I have to give credit for that. And the art is amazing. Like, it looks great.
Oh, Capullo has got his shit together. He's never done better work. And he's always done great work.
Yep.
So, some people have noted we don't talk about the art enough. And that's too bad.
Really?
Yeah.
When was that?
It's Twitter shit. They never really formalize it in anything.
Well, that's valid. I mean, I'm very story-driven, so...
You know what's not story-driven?
What's that?
Secret Six.
Oh, God. Fuckle.
I do not understand what in fuck's name makes people like her on this book.
Well, here's the thing. The Sinister Six is terrible. Let's just start by getting that out of the way.
Secret.
No, the Sinister Six is awesome. The Secret Six is terrible. It's so goddamn... Like, we start with what appears to be a lion werewolf. I guess it's Catman.
Yeah, the idea initially seems to be that it's Catman.
So, Secret Six was a very popular pre-52 book that we never read.
Right.
Or at least, I'm speaking for me. I know I haven't. I assume you
I
haven't.
didn't read it.
And so they're bringing some of the characters that were in it back, but in new form. So this, like, it's not even a book they're sentimental about. It's like, oh, you did this well last time, but change it.
Yeah.
So now we have this, like, awful mutant origin story start to Captain Handsome, the half-cat fucking werewolf dude.
that was killing me, dude.
It was so bad. And then you build together this room. You've got Black Alice, who appears to be some sort of magician chick because she's talking backwards a la Zatanna and causing things to happen. You have the ventriloquist, which is the single worst thing to come out of the 52 so far. And when you think about my overall feelings of the 52, what they did to the ventriloquist, like, I had a shiny metallic cover of that and I made you take it out of my house. And I assume you mailed that shit away.
Yes.
Because it was
somebody.
awful.
Wow, that was crazy. That's not stuff I want to see on TV.
So bad. It was just wretched. And then, let's see, who am I missing? Oh, Tricks, that I kill peoples. Big Shot, the detective who turns into the Blob. Woohoo for your superpower. And then
I couldn't stand it.
Porcelain, who makes things brittler or harder.
Ooh.
Did you realize that you just stole your power from Harry fucking Leland? You're the black goddamn bishop, and that did not work out well for him.
It's so, and then I read lines like "Smolder Boy," and I'm like, "You're just not even fucking trying, are you?"
No. The art is in fact solid. It's not bad looking at all.
Yeah.
This whole secret society putting together. There's a dead fake cops that one of them shows dead to prove that they'll kill people. It is not acceptable. It's just not. Like, even if people love the old one, they're not going to be fond of this one.
I don't hear anybody talking about it anywhere. I don't see it in forums. I don't see it in comics journalism. I don't see it in Twitter. Nobody has said shit about this book.
Yeah, it's like we didn't get any more of this, did we?
No.
Thank fuckles.
I was tired of that already. I was like, look, I want to understand what I'm missing. When I am not hitting on a book and everyone else is, I want to make sure that I'm not the idiot.
Yep. In this case.
So I get the book and I find out. And it turns out, well, no, I'm not the idiot. But everyone else, and I'm not going to directly call them idiots, but they have something else in their personality that allows them to dig this tripe.
Yep. No, not everything. And not everything. Like, we didn't like The Massive. Other people did. The Massive had some interesting stuff in it. It just wasn't for us.
Right.
Like, The Wake, I didn't get it.
No, I just flat out did not understand.
You
most of
know,
what
somebody
was
else who
happening in The
does
Wake.
gets to enjoy that. Fine.
Yeah.
Like, just because I hate something doesn't necessarily make it garbage. If I say it's garbage, it's because it's garbage. This is bad, people. This is a poor attempt at a comic book. There will not be Secret 652, okay? This will not see 50 issues. It's just not going to happen. And if it does, y'all are wrong. Like, W-R-U-N-G. And I know that's spelled wrong. That's because it's wrong.
Wow. The scotch has kicked in, kids. He's having it neat and he's got half a tumbler. Jesus Christ. Let's move on from that, shall we? Because I think that's as far as we can go with that fucking book.
No, there's nothing about it. I'm not remotely interested. I could not care less.
No.
And the last thing that happened to Catman, I guess it was pre-52, is that he was eaten by Monsieur Mala after...
Holy shit, is that true?
Yeah, from the... when Green Arrow came back from the dead, Catman was the villain he had watching over his stuff.
How far back was that?
That was in Arrow Quest, the Brad Metzer in between Kevin Smith and Judd Winnick.
Holy crap. Eaten by Monsieur Mala. You know what that is? That's like a sentence at the end of Cinema Sins. Everything wrong with Secret 6. Verdict. Eaten alive by Monsieur Mala.
There you go.
See, what did I tell her? What did I tell you about the hair down?
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Right. So, another book that ain't strictly for us, but we're reading anyway. Batgirl 37. So, it seems to me, and I'm going to be blunt about this.
Yep.
It seems to me to be a ham-fisted commentary on co-opting fame in the internet age.
It is... Okay, I like the younger tone to this book. I thought that this was a big step forward. Like, they're moving forward. The best thing about Batgirl is that it has established a really strong backing cast.
And quite extensive as well.
Right, and so many books don't do that or do it well.
Yeah,
So,
that is the truth.
Here you have a young girl who's got friends, who's got acquaintances, who's got work buddies, all sorts of shit that plays into it. And it's kind of nice to see for once. Then she also, like, I ranted when I read the first one because she was so bad at being Batgirl. Like, and I'm used to Batgirl being
Competent.
right. But again, it is the new 52. Fine, they're taking the younger take with her. I have to accept that. And having accepted that, the fact that she's got a mentor in Diana who wants to kick her ass for being so bad at it is kind of fucking awesome.
You mean Dinah?
Oh yeah, sorry, Diana. Wow, they really, the parody of names here. I've never really thought about that, but that's awful. You couldn't have one name like Viv? Like, what the fuck? Oh, they do. That Vixen chick, maybe.
Is she Vivian?
Maybe. I think so, but I'm not.
I think she is Vivienne.
Dude,
He's very French.
I cannot believe I pulled
She's
that out of my
French
ass.
vixen.
I am shocked and appalled that I actually got that right.
I'm not. If anybody was going to figure that shit out, it was going to be you. Jackass. But the main antagonist is a guy set up to fail trying to take Babs's place and kill her.
Right. He turns her into he turns her life as Batgirl into a art project and tries to replace her by being Drag Girl. There's a couple really cool things, like the teenage girls being modern day criminals and hanging out with evil Batgirl on Pixtagram was pretty fucking funny. And using art to mess with Batgirl, and the fact that there's a mysterious benefactor, like there were a couple really cool aspects of this. I had a hard time, like classic Comic 101. You got 4 teenage girls in the car with a guy dressed as a girl, and none of them could tell it was a dude. Like, okay, maybe not, but
it's a stretch.
The art aspect there were some really cool aspects to it, and the art is great. Again, like it.
No, I have never faulted the art for anything.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a really cool little book, and I want to see where it goes with it. But at the same time, yeah, it's trying to be hipster so hard that it's
so
almost
hard,
palpable.
Man. It's so hard, man. I would hipster so hard. Stop speaking like that.
But
Wait,
we haven't touched on the Darwin Cook covers, which are the best thing ever.
These things are so good, yo. This Wonder Woman one where she's just ripping through the various Minotaur-headed things and ancient Greece, and she just got that Simonson headdress thing going on.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. I adore that. Batman got skipped on that.
Yeah, I was surprised by that, but maybe
I was unhappy with that.
Well, you know what? Maybe he had a limit to how many Batman ones he wanted to do. Quite honestly.
Well, yeah, that's true too. But the
he
the
may
Batgirl
only do one take on each character.
The Batgirl one really, really draws out just how much fun the character's having with her life.
Yep.
And I am having a rough time getting past the hipster stuff, but everything you've said about plot and characterization is utterly true.
Yeah, it really is.
And I will go with you on that.
Yeah.
It says, I'm too much of a douche, adult, heteronormative fucking white guy to really dig on the language. I don't care what slang they're using in this time. I don't care that everything happens on their phone.
Well, I'll give you the fact that you honestly, and you like, we're going to go totally off topic for a second. You liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but even when that was on television, not on box set or anything, when it was on television 2 bajillion years ago, you're like, why do they say E at the end of everything? Like,
Yeah.
That's always bothered you.
Yes, it has.
So I will give you credit. Like, that's not, that's not your age in this case. Like, that's always been a quirk. Like, dude, stop being slangy. Like, for you,
it's a bit clangy and jammy and slangy.
Hip speak ended for you with Big Daddy Kane, for God's sake.
Pretty much, yeah.
The New Adventures of Slick Rick, So
you love bringing that up.
I do.
No, it's relevant. It's bloody relevant. So
But,
that's fine that you said that. You want me to pause that?
Yeah, just for a second.
Very good. All right, so yeah, we started talking about the Darwin Cook covers, and another one is on Detective 37, and it's a very nice cover. It has Alfred being very fatherly,
Taking care of Bruce.
taking care of Bruce, who's just kind of sacked out in the giant.
Can I see that real quick?
Yeah, sacked out in the giant armchair in the study, surrounded by the accoutrements of the fête de crème, which is faux French for fight crime.
It's just such a nice little moment, and that's what
It is.
Like, he reads these things so well. But this isn't real. Like, if you want to start looking at detective comics, this is one you should consider picking up. Like, this storyline. It has a really the new team is really taking the detective thing to a new level. It starts with your classic Batman diving into the Mad Hatter fight.
Right.
And then finding a couple of kids' bodies, like skeletons of 5 or 6 kids. And what's interesting about that...
That murder device is shaped like a giant straight razor.
Well, it's a Christopher Lambert sci-fi movie based on Beowulf. What you get is what you get.
That's fucking weird, yo. I don't know what the fuck's going on up in here.
And meanwhile, Anarky, who normally you hate.
I do normally hate him.
Like a passion of a fiery sun hate.
I've never understood the point of his character.
Well, the one perk of the New 52 is he might not be an 8-year-old this time.
Yeah. Anarchists are so naive, though. They're like, everything will be okay if we just don't have a government. Really, pal?
Well, the theory, of course, is that if you destroy everything, people, have to express themselves in a more natural way. Which, of course, is usually rape, murder, and bludgeoning. So, anarchy is stupid. It is inherent. But it's also tempting to people who don't want to follow rules. And that's always, they've tried to make him overly political, but basically what it comes down to is, I don't like the way this world is. I'm going to destroy it. I'm not going to fix it by destroying it.
That's
so
exactly
much as I'm
what
just
the
going to
character
destroy
is.
it.
Yeah.
This anarchy, however, is chasing monsters.
Which is kind of weird.
And they also have the single coolest thing in years in Batman.
Yeah.
And what that is there's a timer going down on, and this is, how computers work and whatnot. The whole timer thing is a little rough. But they're like, what does that mean? The whole building's going to blow up. Get everybody outside. Which is the most base comic idea ever. However, what they did here, which is so special, is they actually reasoned out, this is a smart office building. What he's done is he's revved up the charge on everything, so all the individual devices are going to blow. Even all the way down to printers. So, while the idea, oh my god, he set up a backup plan that the entire building's going to blow up, is inherently ridiculous. In this case, they've actually logicked out a way that you could do that with technology to a degree.
Well, I mean, there are limits that I will exceed for the fact of fiction, and most particularly comic fiction. So, while it is ridiculous, it's not so ridiculous.
It's far more reasonable than that idea has ever been before.
Yes.
Unless you get back to they strap bombs along the building and the Flash runs and picks them all up. This is as good as that's going to get. So that's pretty damn cool. This is such the throwback issue that you've been waiting for.
Yes. I was quite happy with that much. And what else I was happy with was there was a really nice moment when they're trying to figure out what's going on with Tetch's victims. Alfred and Bats are talking about the whole situation. It was very good.
They're doing Alfred extremely well, which is also indicated by the cover. But the other thing I want you to think about, and I'm glad that you said that, because this is why this is such a better Batman that even you missed it.
Yeah?
They might not be Tetch's villains. It's written in a way that suggests the possibility that they could be, but it's not actually confirmed that he did it. So they may have stumbled upon a different crime scene.
I see.
Building the detective element.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is something they haven't done in Bat. If you find a dead body, either somebody set that villain up, or he actually motherfucking killed somebody. But this is a whole different playing field. Now, it may turn out, yes, he absolutely did, and that's fine, but at least there's a hint that it could be something else. And they're not hinting that it could be, but they're not out and out stating it, so it could not be.
Right. No, and that's a huge bonus.
For literally years, you can complain that Detective Comics has no detectiving in it whatsoever.
And it's been true.
But this team, at least in this very small couple of ways, And I can't believe that it's fucking Anarky that turned it around for you. But yeah, the guy Anarky kills. Now, my one caveat with this is the guy. It's a tiny little thing, but it totally sucks. So I'm going to point it out because that's what I do. Even when I like something, I find piddling shit to complain about.
All right, what do you got?
The guy that Anarky murders is a human trafficker.
Ah, right.
Who works for Wayne Corps.
Yeah, how did that sneak by?
It didn't. He was charged and got off quickly. There's no way that, even if Batman, who checks everything, allowed this guy to get hired, once that came up, he would have either busted him or gotten him off. There's no way. It's just not...
Yeah, he's not hanging out and minding his own business, diddling what he diddles.
Right, like, oh, hey, I missed my employee being a human trafficker.
Nah, yeah, you're right. That doesn't fit in at all.
And it's a tiny thing, and they did it to kind of bring, Lucius in and whatever. But it's glaringly not okay. And as I'm raving about everything else, I just want to point out that, no, that's like bad. It's a tiny little bad. It's a small bad. It's like a tiny kernel of crap in a pool of chocolate. Oh. And you're like, I want to enjoy the chocolate, but there's crap in there.
What doesn't have any crap in it, however, is Sinestro 8.
Well, that's not entirely true.
Well, you can say that, but I will bet you'll backtrack in some degree. Now, again, with the cover, this is pretty much Sinestro Conan.
Dude, really? So amazing. That's who Sinestro sees. Like, he's the ultimate warrior, picking up ladies, kicking Green Lantern ass. Just going back, lounging on a throne, eating some tiger.
It's a great one, man.
No, it's amazing.
Great.
And I love Cullen Bunn on Sinestro. I'm loving what the take of the character is. I love the arc that the book is going on, and there's some really cool moments in this book. The point I was making is
he rescued her and they killed her anyway.
I have no idea. He's very confusing.
What a load of shit. You don't rescue the hot chick and then wander off and let her get chopped up.
The fact of the matter is this is all so convolutedly involved in all these Green Lantern things that we're not reading.
Fucking Christopher Lambert. Right, we're not reading. I am listening.
So I have no clue what's going on about half this book.
No, it's killing me. This Godhead thing needs to end.
Well, it's just going to bring the next stupid Lantern event.
Yeah, it kills me.
At least in the near future, we're going to be reading a second book that might help.
Yeah.
But there's a couple awesome moments. And also, when did again, it's the new 52, I know. But the Highfather being asshat of the century.
I'm not entirely, I'll be up front. I've never read a whole hell of a lot of New Gods stuff.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
Do you even like Mr. Miracle?
Oh, yeah, I liked him in Justice League. Big Barda always seemed overly mean. But just the whole New Genesis stuff is just like, wow, you were deliberately trying to be over the top on every last fucking aspect.
Yeah, it's not a
everything. Everything. So my experience with the Highfather being or not being an asshat is limited at best. So I was not shocked about anything he did here.
Okay. Well, in the past, and again, it's that moment where it's like, wait, no, and then you're like, well, it's a new 52, they can do that, and you'll notice that I'm growing as a person because I'm actually saying, oh, it's a new 52, they're allowed to change things, as opposed to in the past, I'm like, it's wrong.
It's still wrong, but that's beside the point.
But yeah, in the past, the All Highfather was basically the way that 5-year-olds think of goth. Like, he was a white bearded happy dude who always had advice and positive thinking.
Was he really?
Yeah, no, it was like he was ridiculously nice. No, Orion, don't kick anyone's ass. That would be wrong. There are other better ways of going about this. Yes, Darkseid is kind of in a grumpy butt, but
grumpy butt. So what actually happens, which you've totally skipped over, is that Sinestro gets to New Genesis and takes possession of a mother box. Now, he's not supposed to be able to do that, but somehow he does.
Take it, but he can't work it. And
well,
even
he's
he
going
can't
to
work
work it.
No, he murders one of his own that they've co-opted somehow, which happened elsewhere, which we don't understand. And then he is basically just shy of torturing a soldier.
Yeah.
And he's quizzing him on the mother box. He's like, I can't make it work for you. Like, you scare the fuck out of me, sir. Believe me. Like, I fought Darkseid, and I want to poop myself right now. Like, you're a very terrifying red person. And I would give you the information, but they're encoded with us, and it's just not going to happen. So Sinestro's big plan is like, I'm going to take this and fuck them with it. It's like, okay, new plan, just kill everyone.
And somewhere along the line, he meets Star Sapphire and a bunch of
He
other...
follows her ring.
A bunch of... how is he sensitive to the ring of love?
No, it just flies by.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's going to
you're
her.
Right. You're right.
Which makes her ring kind of a dick. It's like, oh, I'm just...
Yeah, because what was she doing without a ring?
Well, who knows? But my point being, like, if you're a magical, semi-sentient super ring, you're like, maybe I'll just take the alley that Sinestro is not in. But no, the ring's like, fuck it. Yeah, come along, Sinestro, party on. I enjoy lantern presents.
So finally, Sinestro ends up talking to Highfather, who smacks him around a bit.
Let's not skip the John Stewart trying to up the smack talk and Sinestro squashing him like a bug.
You know, that's just so many people are so happily obsessed with John Stewart, and I'm not going to shit on that, but he's not really proving himself worthy of that praise in this book.
You know, the thing is, like, John Stewart is... For years, he was the blandest, most pointless character. It's like, oh, he's a good dude who takes over when Green Lantern can't be Green Lantern. And so he was just such a pointless black...
Now, when is there too much scotch?
Blank slate. But no, in part because he was a African-American gentleman, you know, they really didn't build on... It was just like, he's nice. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Everybody likes John Stewart.
For a long time, a lot of people were really worried about putting any negative
So
personality aspects.
Yes, that's where I was going. Obviously, I misspoke in a horribly amusing way. Jesus Christ. Fucking dumbass. But yeah, like, they wouldn't build any personality into him. Then for a while, he started to get cocky. And they built that up, and then they crushed that in the unbelievably great Mignola-drawn Jim Starlin Cosmic Odyssey, which I'm obsessed with, and I think you've read once.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and since then, like, he's had his own book, and I guess they built him out to be kind of a player. Like, he had Mosaic, which was the dullest Green Lantern thing ever, which I could never get. So my problem is, like, he's done all these cool, awesome things, apparently. I haven't read any of them. Every time I read anything that involves John Stewart, like, he's either mopey or bad at it.
It's true, dude.
So, like, you ever get one of those TV shows where everyone's raving about it, and every time you catch an episode, you're like, what the Droopy Dog was better than this.
Yeah, just about any grown-up comedy from ABC. Yes.
But, and, you know, but sometimes if you check out an entire box set, you see the point. But it totally happens. So, like, the Highlander TV show, I wasn't allowed to come over and watch with Dan the Man because I came over 3 times, and every time, like, that episode sucked. I'm like, this show is awful. And they're like, you just can't come over anymore. Like, Jay and Dan banned me. They're like, we're watching it without you, so it remains awesome. Because every time you're involved, it sucks. I'm like, maybe it just sucks. And they're like, no, it's you.
My pop used to watch that, and I'd catch him watching episodes, and I'm like, what the fuck are you watching, Dad?
That man will watch anything.
He will, man.
But, yeah, like, sometimes it just never clicks. And maybe John Stewart has been built in...
I think we're in trouble.
Hey kids, at this point we had some microphone problems and we're just going to cut out about a minute or so of the John Stewart rant, which you've heard before but never knew about the Highlander thing. We'll be right back.
To this awesome dude, but he is... God, like, dude, I never read any of the Green Lantern books where he's a badass. So I don't know enough
or
about
even
him.
really does much of much.
Yeah, like, he must, like, back when Kyle Rayner was being built into, you know, the super Green Lantern foil, John Stewart was his, you know, comrade in arms, and they really built that dynamic up. So he must have been pretty solid in that area. I just never read any of that.
Neither did I. So,
But then you have a couple more. There's so many key moments here, like when Parallax gets whipped down by Sinestro. Like, we've already had that battle. Your yellow ass lost. Like,
You're
just
going
sit
right
down.
back in the bottle there, Genie boy.
And then on top of that, you had the moment where the girl that the new god that he's been macking on is like, "Hi, Father, don't hurt him. He's red and lovely."
Red and lovely.
So, you know, the Sinestro charm is somehow working, like, but in Sinestro charm being, you know, basically officious and mean, which actually makes sense because most of the women we saw in bars used to get into that kind of thing. So apparently, new gods are the equivalent of teenage girls.
Ouch. So yeah, the High Father smacks him around a bit. She comes in and she says, "Oh my God, don't hurt him." But he escapes for Earth
In a boombox, and he's somehow been able to tamper with, despite being unable to work it.
and not having the page count to actually try.
So
Not in this issue.
no, there's a lot happening. This thing is flying by, but it's going to end in the Green Lantern Annual that we're not going to read, so we'll have no idea.
Yeah, don't give a shit. So, you made me do this, and I don't necessarily regret it, but I don't know that it necessarily needed a whole $5 special on its own.
It was pointless. It was
Is
utterly
the Harley
pointless.
Quinn Holiday Special.
There are 2.5 stories. The half story being a like 5-page thing about a bug that gets stuck in her ear and keeps humming that Santa pulls out with a candy cane and uses to get free lunch at a
amused
Jewish
me.
diner.
That amused me. I was amused by that. That was the one I
That
liked.
was the one. Then there's one where she finds a gray hair and decides to kill Father Time.
That one was a little excessive, even for a complete fucking lunatic like Harley. That was just nutsy. Like, you are so twacked out that you think stopping time will not stop you as well, but it will stop you from getting gray hairs.
You know, it's
That's both comedic and ludicrously dumb.
it's lazy, right? It's like, you're crazy, but, you know, are you crazy or are you just like, you know, looking for antics to get into at this point? And of course, the first story has her helping a father and daughter regain their love by bringing them together by really bad plans after forcing people to adopt puppies by hiding them in their luggage.
Well, I didn't mind when she finally got with the kid because she toned it down for half a minute and went back to her psychologist training and actually took care of the kid. Which is not something you'd find her do anywhere else except her own book. But it was a nice sequence.
No, it was cute. I also liked how she managed to solve the problem by still being crazy, and then ended this sweet moment by like, if anything happens to my puppy, I'll kill you. I'll kill your father. I'll kill your family. Okay, chill the fuck out. Like, pale, kind of frightening lady that was just in my bedroom 5 minutes ago. Jesus Christ, I'm 6.
But it was okay. I mean, it wasn't nearly as bad as I don't know that $5 was what
You know,
needed
these
to
specials,
be.
like, I like the idea that they're having Harley, like, I miss the old school DC specials, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the random crazy big events. I don't know why it's always Harley Quinn that does that now.
Rather than like anybody else. There's no more 80-page giants. There's no more well, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't got to preach to you.
And yet you will.
So,
Why the fuck are you standing?
because this is not a comfortable fucking couch to be sat forward on. It's very low, and so my legs get all in these weird positions, and I can't stretch them out. What? It's like this every time.
You can't operate a couch?
Well, I don't want to lean back.
Why?
I'll fall asleep with all this scotch.
Dude, I have many hard objects I can throw at you from here. You're fine. So lean back. Enjoy. Put your feet up.
At any rate,
That was actually audio friggin' proof that you're old, dude. That wasn't even standing. That was sitting down. Tech Jedi.
you know that is a hallmark of getting old, making noise when you move. There's no
Oh.
more live cat ninja reflexes going on when you pass 35.
No, there's
It's just not happening.
It's like you find stairs and you swear. Like, you know.
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I gotta do that shit. God damn. And there's like 4 people under 30 ever listen to this podcast, and they're like, ah, old man. And 10 years from now, I'll be like, ah, dumbass.
Old man, take a look at my knees. They're a lot like yours.
So let's move on.
Yes, I turned Neil Young into an insult. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm very talented in what I do.
Superman 37 brings us Ulysses having trapped Soups, explaining the whole deal. That the great world actually murders people for energy.
Dude, this is awesome. Like, I was so excited about this issue.
Really?
Well, here's the thing. Like, Ulysses is now a cosmic serial killer. So you have a guy whose powers are on par with Superman.
Well,
who's
more
tracked
mass
out.
murderer.
Fine.
It's a fine line.
Fair enough. I'll give you that correction. But you've got a guy whose powers are equivalent of Superman, who's batshit loco, and Superman very badly needs like nemesis.
He does. It's so hard to give him a good villain.
And then, like, this is so classically Superman. It's like you can't. He convinces him to do the right thing and save the people, and then we'll save your world. But let's get all the humans, including your parents, off.
Right.
And then we'll fix your robo-virus type
But
thing.
it took so long with so many. There's no way to do it. Yes, we can. We can't do it. Of course we can. Page after page after page
none
of
of
that back
bothered
and
me
forth.
because they don't. The fucking whole planet blows up, and Ulysses is kind of upset about it.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna have to deal with a Superman who just fucked the fuck up. Like, yeah, it's a planet of people who've been sending out super ships to murder people to keep their planet going. So it's not like you lost fucking, He-Man and Eternia here. Like, you lost some alien asshats.
It couldn't. I mean, they keep calling it the Great World, but could it really have been that great if their big energy technology is killing people? Really, guys? You can cross fucking dimensions, and you have to steal life energy. Figure something else out, dude. Jesus.
It's kind of Krypton, It's that whole idea. Like, we've gotten so evolved. Like, oh shit, the planet's going up. Well, we don't do plumbing anymore. That's like long gone.
So now that it's personal, he wants to send them back, breaking the ship, destroying the planet. So yeah.
But yeah, like, now you've got a huge epic fight coming up in the next one,
Real soon.
which should be awesome.
I hope so.
And then on top of that, you've got a Superman who just killed an entire, like, this is character, like, when's the last time Superman had a big arc like that in his own fucking book?
Well, I mean, we skipped 30 some odd issues.
Fair enough, but
And we don't read action. So
I'm hoping that this will be a good thing.
yeah.
At the very least, you've made Ulysses hate Superman. And even though, like, he's a villain, he's kind of got a point, too. Like, yes, I shouldn't have murdered 4 million people, but or what, 4 billion? Whatever the fuck number climbs into this spaceship to nowhere.
Well, they were going to bring 6 million from Earth.
Okay, 6 million.
But then the whole planet blew up, so you're definitely talking billions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, any way you look at it, a whole lot of fuckers are dead. And Soups is going to have to deal with that.
He's not going to have a good time dealing with that. He's going to be just wandering around, moping forever. He's going to, as long as he doesn't end up, however, walking the Earth again, then I'm fine with that.
That was a cool idea to start, but I don't remember it ending well.
No,
at
it
all.
totally didn't. It just
Well,
kinda,
didn't they end it really early because he wanted to go off and do graphics or something instead?
Yeah, and it kind of petered out, and it doesn't really count anymore anyway. So whatever. So let's get to the quality books. Did I say that?
Wait, what's next?
The Vertigos.
Oh, okay.
Booyah! Astro City 18. The Black Rapier is retiring. Cracker Jack and Quarrel are at the ceremony. Now, like usual, most of the best stuff that happens in Astro City isn't happening while we read it. It's always something happened 10 years ago, or something happened way back at the beginning of the formation of the Honor Guard and stuff like that. So there's a whole lot of long sequences of memories and regrets and character backstory, and particularly Quarrel's, which is fine because she's a pretty decent character. She turned out to be a country poor farm boy. Her pop was a criminal. And
Well,
she
we knew that
inherits
from the
his
Steeljack
stuff.
story.
Did we?
Yes, remember she helped Steeljack escape because he talks to her about her dad being one of his partners.
Yeah.
Hi, kids. I'm also a reference library.
So she inherits all his stuff. So that's the vast majority of this issue. And it's really, really good.
Yeah, obviously, like, Crackerjack has always been one of the most underused of all. I mean, everybody in Astro City is underused. Because they show up once and they never show up again. Like, the first family, like, everyone shows up in a background of other people's stories.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly how it works. I mean, even Winged Victory, you know, she only had 3 of her own issues.
She had the date issue early on, and then she had like the 5-issue series this go around.
Yeah.
But then she was in like the 2-issue one where they had the agents of taking the phone calls.
Yeah, but some of that was she was cameoing. She wasn't like
right. That's the thing.
She wasn't a mover and a shaker in the
everybody's
story.
A cameo in other stories. Like there's such a huge revolving cast that's always changing. Like, do you remember back in the day, long before this podcast, when we were reading the Steeljack one, we're like, holy shit, is this one ever going to end? Like, Steeljack, it went on forever.
It did.
And it was good, but at the same time, you're like, dude, what the fuck? You're like the worst detective ever.
I'd like another story now, please.
And then you get that Mock Turtle episode in the middle of it, and at the end, they're like, and he died. And the very next issue is like, we found the Mock Turtle dead. I'm learning from that. And it's like, what the hell is the point of the last? What's going on? But this Busiek thing, like, he's always had an eye towards retirement. He won, what the hell is an Eisner? What else?
There are Eisners, Eagles.
He won something.
Spirits.
For the issue with the Junkman about a villain retiring and then coming out of retirement because he didn't get credit for the crime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that one.
Great, and it was a great single issue book, but like he's always had an eye towards that thing. There's also the Astro City special one-shot Supersonic about the hero in retirement who his cop buddy made him come out of retirement to fight the robot. You may not have read that one. That's not the most common
it doesn't
one.
sound like one I'm familiar with.
But he's losing his power slowly, so the guy makes him come out of retirement, and he basically gets his ass kicked because he can't figure out how to beat it. And the cop's like, maybe I should take that teaching position. Yeah, just let me garden, asshole. No, but Busiek writes depth, and so you have 2 characters, Quarrel, who's smart and introspective, and Crackerjack, who is a buffoon.
He's a competent buffoon, though. He's a kind of devil-may-care buffoon, but he's competent.
He is. He's an Errol Flynn type. Like
Totally.
It's all about the pencil-thin mustache and the adventure. So there's some very cool things that are happening in terms of that. And I'm curious about all this. I can't wait to see what happens next. But yeah, like retirement is always this Busiek like undercurrent in Astro City. He's done this a few times.
Well, he's gotten the point across that Astro City has been the way it has for an extremely long time.
Absolutely.
So people, there's no reason not to allow people to retire. There really isn't. I mean, it's his book. It's one universe. He doesn't share it with anybody else. His characters aren't spun off left and right into a jillion different other books or miniseries or gigantic events that change the universe. So why not have torches passed and mantles replaced and all that kind of stuff?
It's very true. The other aspect of it, though, and this is a tiny thing, but I'm like, I don't think I've ever read a Black Rapier story.
I'm not entirely certain either. He's definitely been mentioned. I know that name.
And he was presented as like the Batman character in this dynamic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although then later they kind of shifted that to the Confessor in the Winged Victory
the
Samaritan
vampire
story.
priest.
Right, but like I was totally waiting for here's a character I've been waiting the whole time for and never got.
Well, that's going to happen. I'm sure he's got plans for the boy. I'm sure we'll get his story. Probably 3-4 issues, It'll be nice. I'm ready for it. So, a brand new series now. Brand spanking new. Wolf Moon, #1. So, lycanthropy, apparently, in this universe, at any rate, jumps from person to person every moon cycle.
It's a kind of a cool idea.
Which is a pretty neat idea.
Like, I did not expect it. It was pretty darn neat.
Yeah, so this guy, Dylan, must hunt it. I don't remember if they gave a reason why he, in particular, has to hunt it.
I don't know if he must hunt it so much as he wants to. He has scars on his face, and he's carrying around a picture of two people that are almost assuredly wolf food. So
I got the undercurrent that he must hunt it. Now, this random person named Kyle is the next one, who kills everyone in the restaurant he works at. And Dylan gets there in time, but he can't put him down to hesitation. He's just like, I'm not pulling the trigger. He wanted to. He got one shot off, and then he wouldn't follow up with it.
He found it hard to kill an innocent person to kill the werewolf, so to speak.
Yeah, which is a decent thing, because it's very easy to have the hard-bitten pseudo-hero go ahead and slaughter anybody, and it turned out to be pointless.
But the strange admission after that seems to be the final splash page of the issue, which is that he dissects the dude and steals part of him.
That was kind of odd, and I'm not entirely certain what that was.
I had to be like, did I get, like, I won't shoot you when you're the werewolf, but I will hack you into fucking wolf bits so that I can catch the werewolf without you.
That is kind of odd. I'm not sure what happened there.
The dialogue suggests that he's come to a change in philosophy. But I don't know, like, perhaps, there's something else going on. It wasn't clear cut, but, like, you definitely want to read the next one. Like, you're like, holy shit. Like, and it was horrific looking. Like, art-wise, like, it made shit look painful. Like, every time the wolf was involved, it wasn't graphic violence, but it was pretty gross.
Yeah, that's the absolute truth right there.
But shame on you, Cullen Bunn. Shame on you for the big diner monstrosity scene where you got the little child sitting there and the werewolf's about to have fucking, Scooby snacks, and you hit him with a car. In the middle of all this new idea, you're like, oh, you can't kill a kid, cliche. Not that I want dead children by any stretch, but I was like, oh my god, like, this werewolf just mauled the girl's face and is killing everyone it comes in contact with, and then suddenly the 3-year-old steps out of the, instead of lying in a pool of its own piss, which would be the logical child choice, just steps out of the diner like, what's going on? Meep, bam.
I mean, how do you not like a werewolf getting slammed into a car? Come on. Whatever.
Now you're
There's
the
always
one,
something. You just can't be satisfied.
I can't. But you're the one who's werewolf obsessed. Did this?
Obsessed? I don't know about obsessed.
You told me you love werewolf, but we bought that last one with the football player because you're all about werewolves.
They don't do them enough, and they don't do them well enough.
That's my question. Was this well enough done for you?
This was far more interesting than Curse ever had a hope to be.
That's not proving anything, though.
It was. I think it was well done enough for one introductory issue. It was bang on. So there.
Yeah. But the possession idea of werewolf was a really cool concept that I've never seen before, so I'm definitely intrigued by that.
So, let's finish off with a book you had to convince me into, because I wasn't certain it could be done right. A book we tried a while ago, and we said, blah! Justice League 3000, number 13. Now, Ted and Michael, who are Booster and Beetle. They just wake up in 3000. They're on a prison planet. They just wake up.
Awesome.
There's no reason for them to be alive or awake or anything, and they're just bam, here we are. They didn't explain shit. They didn't say they were in cryo. They didn't say that they were time traveling.
Some of this may have been in 11.
Maybe.
Like, I don't think they found them somewhere. It's not like they opened with them just talking. Like, obviously, there was a splash page somewhere in the previous issue with Booster and Beetle in it. Mm-hmm. So, I was very happy to see Keith Giffen writing Booster and Beetle did, and hadn't dropped a step. It is slightly darker, but it's also in this future world that is slightly darker. So
Because they're on a prison bloody planet.
right, so the tone fit the overall story. The big failing of this as a book
Yeah.
is that it's about the Justice League 3000, and they're in it for a page and a half.
Well, you know, I was quite happy with.
So was I, but you know,
give me my Booster and Beetle. I mean,
which they did, and they did it extreme. Like
they got to establish them in this world, and they don't necessarily need the rest of the league to do that.
it's true, but at the same time, like if you're going to use Booster and Beetle to kind of push this book into the next step,
Yeah.
you should probably be building the other characters at the same time.
They've had 12 of their own issues for that.
And
And of course, they'll get back to it in 14. So
but
whatever.
honestly, they can get rid of them. Like I just want to read Booster and Beetle. Like I was so excited. I enjoyed everything, and of course, somebody took on the Beetle persona on a prison planet to beat up other prisoners.
Discount future Ted Jr.
And dude, anytime you have diseased future rats, like it was just so much fun.
I don't know that diseased future rats are all that fun.
You know what? If you're gonna have Booster and Beetle in the future, they're gonna find diseased future rats.
That is the truth.
Like I loved it. I was gleeful about it. It was not the complete light touch of old school Justice League at its finest.
That's true.
But it was also, of course, the whole book has a different tone. Like we did read the first issue of Justice League 3000.
Yeah.
And obviously it was a much darker book. So now, this is going to have a slightly darker tone to it. So I thought it was well suited. Like as much as I wanted them to be on Kui Kui Island, like it
Cooey Island.
it wouldn't have made sense, So I thought they nailed it. I thought it was a great thing. Howard Porter is just a fun artist.
He bangs it out. He's good.
So yeah, huge fan of this. We got the next one too, right?
Yeah.
Are we going with that for a while? Or we just do two.
I don't know. It depends on how the ice storyline plays out that they introduce in the next one.
But yes, I bought a Booster Gold book, Blue Beetle book, and I am happy about it. Every now and then, shit works out in my favor, people. Ha!
Every once in a long, long time. At any rate, enough insulting you. The episode's over.
Damn right, enough insulting me.
The books are gone. The episode's over, and we're calling it a night. That's your cue.
I have a cue?
Yes, you have a cue.
What
The
do
cue
I
is
do?
when I stop speaking.
You never stop speaking.
That's not true.
Bless you fuckers!
Bastard.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.